does it feel to wake up the day after a transfer window is shut, where most of us Manchester United supporters expected no signings whatsoever? Due to the press, the pundits, the media, even club briefed us that there's no money in the coffers for another signing. Erik ten Hag was begging in the press, please give me more bodies, please give me a midfielder. We saw Christian Eriksen got injured, he's probably out for the next 6 weeks. And what did Erik pull out from the hat? The magician, or did I say the magician on the midfield, no other than Marcel Sabitzer from Bayern Munich. And yesterday we got scintillating news that, it is done and sealed, delivered and dusted from the brilliant Fabrizio Romano. This came in the 11th hour. It is official, it's complete. Marcel Sabitzer joins Manchester United loan from Bayern Munich. The quotes from Sabitzer himself, it says that he feels that he's at his peak of his player career and that he can contribute a lot experience and energy to the squad. I'm excited to start my new teammates and manager. What does that mean? Well, in a way, the way I see it, we need bodies. I was just afraid that we're not going to be able to sign anyone and that we're going to be linked with some lower league player that nobody's heard about, but Sabitzer is one step up, almost the same class as Eriksen. Now, who is Marcel Sabitzer and what can he bring to the Manchester United squad for the remaining of the season? There's a lot of questions to be debunked, but what better way is to introduce my dear colleague and friend, a YouTube content creator, fellow gamer, that is so good at breaking down tactics, analysis and systems to play. I'm talking about Marcus the TrxpleM. Marcus, what can you tell us about Sabitzer and how would he actually suit into Erik ten Hag's system?
But Sabitzer is actually a really good player, and for the type of profile we need to replace Christian Eriksen, as he has been injured and he will be out for the next 3 months at least, this guy actually ticks a lot of the boxes.
That's very interesting. In what way does he ticks all the boxes, Marcus?
In terms of where he will play, obviously he slots into where Christian Eriksen comes in because he ain't going to dislodge Bruno, and obviously he's not a defensive-minded midfielder in the same way that Casemiro is. Casemiro is excellent at taking the ball off the back four and progressing it up the field, but with the help of Christian Eriksen this season, it's made it a little bit easier on Casemiro because he doesn't have to do it alone, and obviously can't do it alone at this level despite how good he really is. Eriksen has been so important for Manchester United at progressing the ball up the field from our defensive third into the attacking half. And he's so good at distributing the ball, whether it's finding a pass to Bruno Fernandes, finding a pass to Marcus Rashford, or spraying it across the other two members of the front three in Weghorst and Antony. He is so pivotal because his creativity from deep makes us a lot more dynamic than we've ever been since the retirement of Sir Alex Ferguson. He genuinely is probably our best 8 since the retirement of Sir Alex Ferguson, but his deficiency has always been defensively, right? In 2 ways. One, he's just not very defensive minded and he's not very good at breaking up the play. But 2, he also doesn't have the legs. So in addition to not really being able to position himself adequately defensively and not having a good defensive mind and a good eye for an interception and being able to break up the play, he also doesn't have the tenacity and the recovery pace to really run up and down the field the way we need and at the intensity that we need for Erik ten Hag's system.
But then in terms of bringing in Sabitzer into the system, in Erik ten Hag's system, what can we expect? Like, would he, how do you see tactically, how would he slot in? Like, is he on par with an Eriksen? Would he be better? Would it be a combative? Is it a goal-scoring midfielder? There's a lot of questions that we United fans are wondering. Maybe you can sort of enlighten us with your tactics.
You bring in someone like Marcel Sabitzer and suddenly you have a very different dynamic. Now, let's start with his FBref reports in terms of passing. In terms of passes completed per game, he's sitting at 52.8 per 90. That is in the 78th percentile across Europe. For context, that is above average. That is pretty decent. He obviously wasn't good enough to start for Bayern Munich because of the abundance of talent they had and also the issues that he had due to injury. But at Manchester United, he is by far and beyond better than Fred, far and beyond better than McTominay, and on form, definitely better than the injured Donny van de Beek.
I like what I'm hearing.
So, without a doubt, he comes into this Manchester United team and he does improve us in terms of his passing ability. On top of that, in terms of passes completed, he's sitting in the 92nd percentile. For an 8, that's pretty impressive. That means his passes are very safe and he looks after the ball very, very well. And you might
Cool.
be fooled into thinking, well, maybe that means he plays a lot of sideways passes and he's not that progressive. Well, if you look at his passes into the final third, he's only sitting in the 55th percentile, and
Wow.
it's not that great. But if you look shortly under at the bottom there, third from the bottom, his passes into the penalty area, he's in the 72nd percentile. And his progressive passes right at the bottom of this graph is in the 70th percentile. So actually, he does play progressive passes, and actually, he does play a lot of passes
Wow.
into the final third.
Cool.
Sabitzer is a very attacking-minded midfielder, and in fact,
Yeah.
at Leipzig, he was known as a goal-scoring midfielder as well because
Wow.
of his shots per 90. This guy takes a ridiculous amount of shots. If you look at his shooting and his FBref reports in terms of how many shots he takes per game, it's pretty impressive. It's pretty impressive indeed.
It is,
I
it
believe
is.
He ranks in the 92nd percentile for shots
Yeah.
taken per 90 against other midfielders in the top 5 leagues in Europe, which is pretty impressive. That is by far and beyond above average. That's not just above average, that's really darn good. And on top of that, what really impresses me the most, more than anything, is his defensive contributions. Defensively, he ranks in the 92nd percentile for tackles and the 93rd percentile for tackles won. So this guy is not only somebody who's giving you something going forward, like Christian Eriksen, and is well-rounded in terms of his technical ability, in terms of his passing, his distribution, as well as his shooting. He's also somebody who has tenacity, who's got an eye for tackle, he's got an eye for interception, and he's very defensively minded when he needs to be.
So Marcus, what you're saying that, based on your analysis, he is a player that fits in right into Erik ten Hag's system, and he's press resistant, he's a pressing monster. We've seen that his stats is like, he's got a long shot shooting range, he has great interception tackles. Do you think that genuinely this will have a huge impact into Erik ten Hag's system and moving forward from now?
Whether or not he can play at the intensity required for Manchester United at this part of the season, due to the fact that he hasn't been playing a lot of football for Bayern this season, that remains to be answered and that remains to be seen. But it is looking promising. And this is a player that a lot of people have been very positive about on my timeline. And by a lot of people, I mean people that I respect in terms of their footballing opinion and their knowledge. So, yeah, this seems like a very good signing.
Excellent, Marcus. Thank you, Marcus, for shedding some light in the player profile of Sabitzer. It does feel amazing to understand where he fits in, his percentiles, what kind of player profile and elk he is, and what he will offer to the squad for the now on from the remaining of the season. Thanks, Marcus, a lot. Please, guys, like and subscribe to Marcus's channel. It's brilliant. You will not regret it. The link to his YouTube channel is down below, also to this video references. Please give him a like on his socials, on Twitter, the jazz. We are Manchester United, we are a fan-based community, and we are here to educate each other. And boy, does it feel good to be read. Looking forward for the season ahead, and looking forward what Sabitzer can bring to United. Please, as usual, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like and subscribe to this video, or don't, it's up to you. But the more you do, the better it helps our channel to make content like this for you. This is Mick Ruby from Mufc Realist TV. Thank you. Latest for now. Bye.